Now, obviously, this isn't really anything that I just really want to talk about on stream. Due to this all being resurfaced by Hassan, I suppose I will no longer be interacting with my father in any way, shape, or form on my stream. Due to what father was convicted for, which really hurts to say.
Wasn't going to say anything, but that guy would not stop talking about how he wanted to have relations with a podcast member, made jokes about women being raped in Vietnam, and made me extremely uncomfortable. I tried to say something and was told it wasn't a big deal.
This is legitimately disgusting. Good afternoon, everybody. Because much in our drama with Tectone and talking about his dad, it all unfolded in the stream where we said what happened. It was essentially very depressing because he was just tearing up and remembering over that old trauma. I didn't really cover it because it just seemed heartbreaking. Because like, what intimate value am I gonna get from a son crying about his dad being a sexual offender? I will say this though, it was very disgusting how his dad's crime was pivoted as a talking point against Tectone himself. And now today, it's got even worse as his ex-girlfriend jumped into this conversation. If you guys remember, Pinkchyu was the one legend that he essayed her back like 4 or 5 months ago. She has mainly stayed dormant since then, but now she wants to come back to rub salt on his wound. Like, stick around till the end and you'll see exactly what I mean. Also, by real quick, I'll start with this video, you know, so I can watch Tectone's announcement of his stream where he talked about this, and then I'll go to Pinkchyu's tweets. And, you know, to have like the clearest story possible.
Twitch streamer Hassan Abi intensified his ongoing feud with fellow streamer Tectone by referencing allegations against Tectone's father during a live stream.
Oh
Hassan
my,
Abi
is that how it started?
highlighted.
Wait, I saw that he was like Tectone like just breaking down normally on stream. Like he was just like having an emotional moment because of something. I had no idea that fucking prick Hassan started by bringing him up.
Post by ex-user at a TZ, which claimed that Tectone's father, Colonel Michael Robertson, was convicted of 14 counts of sexual assault while serving in the US military. The post included a military portrait purportedly identifying Robertson and cited Tectone's own reference to his father as Colonel Michael Robertson on the stake.
Oh my god, wait, did Hassan's fanbase like litigate Tectone's dad, like his fucking crimes from the past?
Podcast. Just before we get into Hassan's reaction, Tectone became visibly emotional during a YouTube livestream while discussing his strained relationship with his father, who was convicted of SA during his military service. This topic resurfaced after Hassan Abi referenced the legal case against Tectone's father.
Oh my, wait, that's a complete total ad hominem. Like what? Wait, I've seen clips of Tectone like going against Hassan during like the even debate, but like they really put like, you know, like history. Like, oh, okay, Tectone, what about your dad who's a sexual assaulter?
During a broadcast.
That's like really shitty,
May
actually.
5th, here is Tectone getting really emotional today, talking about his dad, who was sent to prison 15 plus years ago for SA. Here, he recounts a scary experience 2 days before his father's sentence.
And obviously, he took some of the aggression.
Oh, I feel so bad. I think Tectone's been a bit cringy before in the past, but like nothing excuses, you know, like delving into like his dad's past, you know, and his criminal record to like use that against him. That's super, and like not only is that fucked, right, but like I'm gonna give you a quick sneak peek of what his fucking his crazy ex was saying about him. Oh, you know, oh, he's gonna like follow in his dad's footsteps, all that stuff. He has been insane.
Out on me about 2 days before he got sent to jail. I got back from soccer practice, which I joined because I wanted to make my dad proud. And I put an empty orange soda can on top of my trash can. And my father threw me to the ground and...
Oh my god, it's actually fucking miserable. I saw like at best, like it was gonna be like, you know, like a quick story of, you know, like what happened to his dad and how he doesn't like talk to him anymore. This is like much worse.
Put a gun against my head and he said,
what?
Ed, give me a good reason not to shoot you. And my brother Mike intervened and...
Okay, in Hassan's defense, for a tiny bit, right? I don't think like this would have led you this awful story right now.
He got
me.
Like
even then, you know, fuck you, like don't bring up his dad out of nowhere.
Out of that situation.
It's like if you've never offended him before in the past.
And once my father got sent to prison, I was just a little bit uncomfortable with my life. And so my brother encouraged me to get as far away from this family as humanly possible. Now, obviously, this isn't really anything that I just really want to talk about on stream. However, a really great Twitch streamer is just making me relive my childhood trauma because of all this, which is great. I suppose due to this all being resurfaced by Hassan, I suppose I will no longer be interacting with my
This like not funny at all. I mean, it was never funny at all, but like
father. in any way.
At least Tectone has had like better moments before than this, you know, than fucking like his son dragging him outside and forcing him to expose his
shape, or
dad.
form on my stream or my content.
The most I ever saw Tectone before talking about his dad was like him talking about like his military past, you know, in the servers. But like not once, you know, to my knowledge, did he ever speak positively
24
about
hours
him?
have been very shocking. It has been very alarming. And I don't really know what to think. Due to what my father was convicted for.
What the fuck was that sensor noise? That was ass.
Which really hurt.
A bleep, silence, that'd be better than fucking a Mario coin sound.
What's to say?
During Hassan's Twitch stream, Hassan reacts to Tectone's father and shares what he thought was hilarious in the following.
Bro, that is the craziest. I mean, it's not even a milkshake duck style situation, because it's like,
What, sorry? A milkshake duck style?
for milkshake duck to occur, like, this needs to be a beloved figure and not a bald RP himself, right? But what was hilarious
Oh, God, that is so fucking scummy.
about this, what was hilarious
bear in mind as well, with the knowledge, you know, of his dad being like a criminal
about the
and still
situation
exposing
is,
him.
like, I didn't know
But like going for like the path, you know, of exposing him and using that as a point against Tectone to, you
anything
know,
about his dad.
the ways
you know. He literally refers to his
credentials.
dad as Iron Mike, which was also the nickname explicitly referenced in the trial of Michael Robertson. It's pretty obviously his father, LOL. It's not a surprise considering the history of S abuse that runs in his family. Like, this man has, I guess, epigenetic memories of, and he
Oh my God, dude. You fucking kidding me? He said that?
had to do it, you know?
That's actually ridiculous.
He just couldn't stop himself because it's just like a familial obligation over here. I remember how quickly he...
Wait, by proxy, go back a second, sorry, give me a second. Was he also like giving like a legitimacy?
He just couldn't stop himself because...
He couldn't just go something, just like, oh my God, that's what. Wait, so not just like, he's not like, you know, exposing his dad live on stream, but also he's giving legitimacy to the Pinkchyu allegations back like 3 months ago, if you guys remember. I mean, I'll bring up it right now in a second, but like, she was making wild, basic claims that he would sexually assault her, you know, and force her to have sex with him. And now, like, you know, he's bringing that up and be like, oh, you know, we know that it did happen. Because his dad was just like him, you know, sexually assaulting people.
Because it's just...
That's fucked up, dude.
like a familial
That ain't
obligation
funny.
over here. I remember how quickly he threw Rich Campbell under the bus because of his allegations. But now he's going after Hassan for going after his 75-year-old cancer-ridden dad because of an alleged SH claim.
Wait, was it alleged or like, I'm talking about his dad, was it alleged or was that like an actual crime for that? I mean, if it went to court, no, wait, even like an allegation can go to court. What am I speaking
When
about?
his dad does not only have allegations, but convictions, and was on the offenders list.
Also,
Okay, so he was convicted, whatever.
during Tech stream,
Like, none of this should matter, right? Because like, what does that have to do with Tectone?
Tectone reveals that he and his dad have spoke once every 3 to 4 months and will occasionally get food. Also says that he took his dad back into his life 3 years ago when it was revealed that he had cancer and not much more time to live.
But he told me that he has cancer.
That's very sweet of Tectone. With kids like that, right? With that story that he told us right now, of like him having a gun to his head, he's in no need to go back to his dad. That's sweet though, in a way.
And he doesn't think that he has much time left. And so, due to that, which was about 3 or so years ago, I take him back into my life, and it was pretty bumpy. It was pretty bumpy. We maybe talked about once every 3 or 4 months or so. Every now and then we would go get some food. My father wasn't particularly fond of my ex-wife, so we would never really interact that much when she was around.
I saw someone saying that his dad only got something like 3 months in confinement for multiple SA, so it couldn't be that bad.
You know, by me reacting to this and defending Tectone, I'm in no way defending his old man, his dad, for this shit. If it's true, right? I haven't looked at the actual case myself, but in no way does that, you know, defend Hassan, bring him up, and also like giving legitimacy to Tectone's own allegations. That is so fucked up.
I tried to explain.
Like that, you know, like that's really helping the war in Palestine, in Gaza, by going after Tectone and his dad.
That the sheer magnitude of the evidence against him had to be overwhelming for the military to even admit that a senior officer did something criminal, then to be removed from service without the option to retire. The crimes had to be bad enough to qualify as a crime of moral turpitude. The military will carry mind-boggling amounts of weight for scumbags to avoid public affairs.
I mean, like, yeah, whatever. Like, I'm not disputing, you know, whether or not he did it. That should not matter why do you have to bring up like some guy's dad and his, you know, his history of crime to introduce debate when Tectone like very secondary? Like right now, primary people are Hassan and Ethan, but Tectone, he's like secondary or at worst, you know, third.
Having to spool up and admit something.
We don't have to bring him up right now.
Bad happened. On my first deployment to the Western Pacific, my entire boat wasn't allowed off base in Okinawa because a Marine kept local Okinawan women, and the Marine Corps dragged
What a great story, thank you.
its feet investigating it, until the local authorities positively ID'd the guy, and then the Marines tried to quietly ship him back the US and handle it there without ever admitting anything to the Okinawans. There were hundreds of people camped out at the gate to the main base threatening to break in and get the guy if the Marines didn't hand him over. This guy was junior enlisted, E2 or 3 I think. The Marines were willing to go that far to try and avoid a PR problem created by a nobody. The DoD would literally destroy evidence for a colonel, that they even let it
Okay, fine, whatever, but like, what does that have to do with Tectone himself?
go to a trial and get a conviction and then separated him is damning.
Tolawan is accumulating.
Oh my god, this stupid shit, right? Okay, nothing against this guy, the channel StreamerTV, but he went from like Tectone's, you know, disturbing stories to Tyler 1 playing fucking Street Fighter.
Well, at the FGC.
And a rematch.
Wow, awesome. Okay, so wipe your memory of all that depressing shit with Tectone and him crying live on stream, and now watch some Tyler 1 playing Street Fighter. Yeah. Right, fuck that noise. Let me go to second camera. So that's the backing story behind that. And now we've gone back to Pinkchyu. This person, if you remember right, she accused Tectone of the worst abusive relationship story ever. You know, sexual assault, forcing sex onto her, all that disgusting shit. And when the story broke out, you know, she reinforced it once again. The last update I remember from her was that she did file a police report, or that she claimed she did, but that was it. No more evidence, no more, you know, like backup proof of what she claimed being true, you know, no proof like of DMs or receipts that he was abusive. I think I saw a couple of clips of, you know, of him getting angry at her on stream, like not directly, but, you know, speaking badly about her on camera, but like no actual proof aside from that of like him, you know, abusing her. But then, you know, like once the clip broke out, she had to give a take on it for whatever reason. Also, this woman is so fun. She went from like, you know, having a nice day in Hong Kong, in China. Why the fuck are you there? You know, posting like tit pics, to then, you know, going back to like the abuse claims, the abuse allegations. Wow. Wasn't going to say anything, but that guy would not stop talking about how he wanted to have relations with a podcast member, made jokes about women being raped in Vietnam, and made me extremely uncomfortable. I tried to say something and was told it wasn't a big deal. Okay, so if you're giving your input into this. He would say the women who accused him of SA in the military were liars, and I still can't believe he was allowed on the other female CCs, including me. Okay, I wonder if that's true, actually. I wonder if like, he actually did defend his dad, you know, from that shit. And even if he did, right, he might have been younger back then, you know, as you would. It was possibly before, you know, before he moved out of the state and away from his dad, you know, when he put a fucking gun to his head, potentially. If I had to guess, the truth always comes to light, and I hope those women know they did the right thing. Fair. I guess with the women in the military, is that what you mean? Oh, that's what she was so like worried about people not believing her of going to the police that she posted a fucking an email, a screenshot of an email from the police. I'm not a liar. God forbid a victim stand up for herself and say enough. And I guess this is the police, you know, part of a case. Let me zoom in real quick. Perfect. I have you down for then. It will be the same place as the last time. Do you need the directions again? And then, wow, there you go. Awesome police badge right there. I mean, I said, yes, please. And that was back in April, a couple of days ago. Now, me personally, I don't doubt of, you know, talking to the police and reporting it. However, if you simply just make a report, that's not like definitive proof that what happened did definitely happen. You know, you report it, but then past that, it's time for like a discovery. You know, they have to investigate it and see what comes from there. And bro, if they do investigate that right and they find nothing, that'd be so funny. Because I really see shit like this. You know, where someone makes like big allegations, but they don't contact the police. I think the best one in my mind, from what I remember, was the one with Alice Hess, the ex-girlfriend of I'm Alex, and she actually talked to the police. Like, okay, in defense of Pinkchyu, that crazy woman, the police rarely intervene and stuff like this, or they rarely convict people from it, because like, it's very tacky, you know, to find evidence for it, and then to back it up in court, so it really goes anywhere. But, you know, I guess from that, you know, he maybe like show some proof that the police did find some wrongdoing, potentially. But past that, you know, it would be better, like, if you want people like me to believe it, right, just show the proof like in a Google Doc, like Alice has, that'd be much better. But then she hasn't done that at all since then, when it fucking started. And even now, she pipes up, she give like a random, you know, comment or whatever, but that's it. Giving like more legitimacy that, you know, he was a rapist, he was a sexual assaulter, all off of shit. So there we go, right? Again, like, I feel so bad for Tectone. I think he's somewhat cringy, like, you know, he's criticizable by his own, but in no way, you know, what I believe, bring up his dad and his history as a good way to attack his character. That is like so scummy from like anyone, especially a son. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna end the video here. This was depressing. It didn't make me laugh.